get me, 500 leads for X amount of dollars. Can't believe I'm telling you guys this story, but yeah, I was scammed by an agency. So what's going on, guys? My name is Bogle. My goal is to have a six-figure agency. Join me on this journey so that way you can learn how you can have your own six-figure agency too by liking this video and also hitting the subscribe button below. Really helps out the channel and I would really appreciate it. And yeah, overall, if you subscribe, you're gonna get more videos and stay up to date on what's working right now to get SMMA clients. And also, since I can't post videos every single day, I do post quite constantly on my group, the SMMA Client Acquisition Tips, Tricks, and Accountability, where I post, tidbits of information like here, what's the easiest way to get your first client in word form. That way you can just see on the go, okay, what do I have to do to get my first client? You can read that and take that information and use it to your advantage. Since I can't post videos every single day, but I do answer questions. I'm very active in the group, and so is everyone else in the group too. We love helping each other out. We love helping each other grow. So yeah, be sure to join the group. The link to that is in the description as well. But anyway, so this video is going to be kind of like a story time of a time I got scammed by an agency. So this is not just me telling a story just for the sake of entertainment. I'm hoping this story can teach you guys, the pitfalls you should look out for when someone's, offering to do a service for you. And also, this is the reason why, many business owners may be choosing not to work with you, even if you do offer a lower price or a free trial, because, many business owners have similar stories like what I'm about to say, with marketing agencies, just like yours. And this is why a lot of them nowadays are hesitant about actually working with different marketing agencies or, actually giving you money to work with them because of this. And, they spend a lot more money than, what I had, spent to get this kind of service. To be honest, I didn't spend this much money, which should have been, one of the worst warning flags to it. And then at the end of this video, I'm gonna show you guys how you can gain the trust of the business owner, so then that way they feel comfortable with paying you $1,000+ for your agency services, and they feel confident that you can get them results, which you should feel confident in doing, or else you shouldn't really be an SMMA for the first part. So anyway, so how I'm going to structure this is I'm just going to tell the story, and then I'm going to tell the lessons learned from the story. So overall, having a YouTube channel, I get a lot of emails, for either business inquiries of, people, who want me to sponsor them. And some of the sponsors were just, not really, because I knew you guys wouldn't want them. And I don't just take sponsors just to take sponsorships. I would want to take only sponsorships that would help my audience grow their SMMA. But also just business inquiries of people who want to offer me services. So one of those people was an agency. He was a social media marketing agency, but he was transitioning to sending out cold emails for marketing agencies like myself to other local businesses out there. And he did it. He sent me an email, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I'm like, okay, how much do you charge? And then the initial prices he said was, really out of my price range. But the thing that was kind of was a red flag for me is that he said that he could get me, 500 leads for X amount of dollars. And from what I think, when I think of a lead, I think of it someone that raises their hand or fills out a form saying, hey, I want to do business with you, let's talk. But when he thinks of leads, it's a different definition, which I'm going to get to in a little bit. But anyway, I'm like, oh, no, I don't want 500 leads. Let's start with 100 leads. And then he was like, okay, I can't do 100. Let's do 200 leads for the price that, I was okay with paying him. So, okay, we hop on a discovery call, which really wasn't even a discovery call. It was like, it was a bad discovery call overall. Anyway, so pretty much he told me his definition. The way he defines 200 leads is that he's gonna find 200 email addresses to cold email out to. That's what he defined as a lead. And that in my book is not a lead. Like if I knew that at the very, very beginning, I probably wouldn't have done it, because I know that sales is a numbers game. And with cold email, you can't expect to send 200 emails and, expect to get a lot of appointments from that. During the call, he asked me the niche I wanted to go after, which was a really, really saturated niche. It was like chiropractors or something like that. A really saturated niche. If you're trying to get your first client, don't go after chiropractors, because that's what everyone else is doing. So they're like swarmed with emails and stuff. So it was chiropractors and dentists. And after that, he asked me, a couple more questions and stuff. But of course, I was just gonna be like, hey, okay, here's my money, go ahead. I asked him a couple questions like, oh, I see you're a social media marketing agency. How come you're not doing that anymore? He said to me that he would rather help, marketing agencies like myself, get connected with other local businesses, and that he wasn't good at sales. So he wasn't good on closing those local businesses, which is fair, because that is a skill set that, not everyone has. Everyone can learn it, but not everyone has it. And also, a little bit before this, I did visit his website, and there was nothing about his cold emailing services. It was just more of his social media marketing services, which should have been a red flag of like, maybe he doesn't have that much experience with what, he's doing and stuff like that. So anyway, besides the fact, I was at this point, this was a while ago, this was like last year. At this point, I wasn't getting any appointments. I had no idea how to get appointments for myself. And I was like, you know what? I need to try something different in order to actually grow. And and it's like, honestly, for me, it wasn't too expensive for me to be like, hell no way. So I'm like, let's give it a shot for 1 month. So we give it a shot, and he sets up everything really nicely and stuff. And just to preface this, I have nothing against the guy who did the service for me. I know he tried his best, but overall, he still just wasn't able to do what he said he was going to do. But regardless, so he sets up everything. It went nice and smoothly. He sets up the email, and then he gets the leads from LinkedIn, and he started sending out cold emails and stuff. And I just thought, okay, if this cold email worked to get an appointment with me, this should work for me to get appointments with other local businesses as well. But honestly, from what I know now, and from what I know, like on how to, send messages to local businesses, honestly, what he was doing was just, in my opinion, a bad technique. Simply because his messages were just way too long, and many business owners aren't going to read through that. They only want to read like 2 or 3 sentences. His were like 1 or 2 paragraphs or something like that, and his messages were just way too long. And of course, because of that, because like the bad messaging and the fact that and then the thing is, he said that expect around 1 to 3 appointments from this. And I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense. But he didn't get me any appointments. He got me 0 appointments. So then the next month, he kind of pulled a sales tactic that I would use. So I commend him on that. He said like, oh, I'm gonna charge you the same price, but I'm gonna up the emails that I send, so that way you can get some meetings in your pipeline. And I'm like, you know what? Sure, okay. So I gave him another month, and same result. I still wasn't able to get any meetings, still wasn't able to get any appointments. And then at that point, I was actually kind of frustrated at that point, because I'm like, okay, I gave you this amount of money, which at this point was, pretty decent chunk of change for what he was doing. And, he didn't get me any appointments. So I was getting frustrated about it, being like, hey man, like, how come, I thought you said you've done this before, and that you've gotten other people appointments in this niche and stuff like that. He's like, yeah, I have, but I guess the thing is, what really set me off is he kind of blamed the business owners that they're not responding to emails and stuff like that. It's just like, people are getting clients through cold email every single day. And it's not that businesses aren't responding to the email. It's just that the email template that you sent was not converting businesses. And then he was like, I'm gonna go not do cold email anymore. I'm gonna do cybersecurity. It was fun working with you. And I'm like, great, so I pretty much gave him my money, and did not see any results from it whatsoever. And the thing is, that's what happens to a lot of local business owners. Marketing agencies come their way saying, hey, I can get you 10 to 20 leads, and they charge them like 5,000, 6,000 or something, some outrageous number, some outrageous price, but they have a huge promise behind it saying, hey, you're going to get all these leads or all these appointments. So, you're going to make, 3 times your money back for the most part, right? And then, usually what most marketing agencies have, they have a contract to pay for the first 3 months up front. So, that usually leads to like $10,000 deals and stuff like that. And then after the end of the 3 months or so, the business owner is completely frustrated because the marketing agency gets them like, barely any, like 0 to like barely any results. And so in my discovery calls, I think one of them I posted here on YouTube, that was the case. Like, he spent, a good 10 grand on a marketing agency, and they said that he literally got 0, like very little results from that. Like, imagine paying $10,000 and not getting anything from that. Like, I'm glad I didn't pay that huge amount of money. I'm glad, like, with what I paid, it was a very, very small, it was not really that significant to me. But overall, it was a good chunk of change. Like, I could have used that money to do something else that actually does work. And that's the thing, that's the mentality that business owners have. If they haven't been, scammed by a marketing agency before, they know another business owner who has been scammed by a marketing agency. So that's the thing. So that's why you may be going out to, local businesses and being like, hey, I can get you these appointments. Hey, I can get you these leads. Hey, I can do Facebook ads for you. And then even if you offer a free trial, or if you're doing it for like a very low price, they're going to be hesitant about it, because especially if you don't have any testimonials, or especially if you don't have any experience doing it, they're going to be like, I don't want to give you money. And then, a month in, you have no idea what you're doing. And overall, you can't get me results. And, business owners are business owners. They're not giving you money for charity. They expect a result. If you can get them the results, they'll be happy, and then they'll be glad to keep paying you. But if you can't get them the results, even if you work your butt off, it's, there's no reason for them to pay you. I mean, some of the times the marketing agency meets those expectations, but most of the time they don't. And, they're wary of other marketing agencies, and, they'll continue to look for other marketing agencies. So it's not like they've given up on marketing or doing their marketing agency, but, they're a lot more cautious about who they pick now. They want someone who they can trust and someone who can, generate them results. So this is why, this is a very important part. So this is why, if you want to get over that trust, or, you want to not be like any of those marketing agencies, or, you want to let the client have trust in you, so that way they can actually pay you $1,000+ to get them the result, is by having something called a results-based guarantee. So this is what I have for my own agency. This is what I use. And pretty much it's just saying that if I can't get you the results that I promised you, then you will get your money back. So this is a huge risk on your part, right? Because if you don't get them the results, then the client doesn't really lose anything, and you lose it all for the most part, right? But honestly, when you're trying to get your first client, when you're trying to be in the business world, that's how it's got to be when you're first starting out. With the old way, with the old method, all the risk was on the business owner, and if the marketing agency couldn't provide the results, the marketing agency, they still got the money. Yeah, they lost the client, which was the loss, but they still got the money, and they're not the ones who have lost $5,000. The business owner is. So now, by offering a results-based guarantee, pretty much you are the one who, if you don't get them the results, you're gonna have to pay back the client, which you really don't want to do, especially if you don't have that much money in the first place. But overall, if you can get them the results, which you should be confident that you can be able to get them the results, and then if you do get them the results, the client's happy because they're getting leads and appointments, and hopefully they're converting those leads and appointments to paying customers. And they'll be happy to keep paying you because you keep delivering them the results. So obviously, when you do the results-based guarantee, make sure you only promise results that you can either sustain and keep, or go over and beyond with. because that if you do promise them results, and let's say you promise them 10 leads, you only get them 5 leads, then you might have to give them back some of their money. But if you get them 10 leads, you promise them 10 leads, then you don't have to give them back any of their money, because you fulfilled the results, you fulfilled your part of the deal. But it's the business owner's job to actually convert that deal into an appointment or into a paying customers. And most business owners are aware of that. They just want to know that as long as the lead has a strong interest of actually doing service with them and actually has what they want, they'll be happy to take in that lead and try to convert them into a paying customer. But overall, yeah. So that's the story of how I got scammed by an agency. And no hard feelings to the guy. I know he tried his best, but overall, he just wasn't able to get me results. And now anytime someone else emails me trying to offer me a business service, I'm going to be a lot more hesitant. I'm going to be a lot more careful, and then not choose one just because it's a cheap price. So yeah, so that's pretty much my horror story with working with another agency. So if you want to know how you can start an SMMA the right way so you can get clients, and if you're confident with getting them results, which you really should be, or else you really should not be an SMMA right now, or you should learn how to get them those good results, click on the video up there so you can learn how to start an SMMA. I'll see you guys in that video. Take care and try not to get scammed.